familiar stranger. Stella chuckles at a joke and details. She seems to be getting really comfortable being around him. She admits to feeling time itself halt anytime they are with each other. I cannot explain why, but he just makes me feel quite different, like the kind of human and woman I have never felt like before. I think it's the one for me, she would say whenever any of her friends tease her about the strength of the love she shows Andy. They both love each other so much, or so it seems. Andy, head over heels in love with her, cannot wait to get her to be his wife, so they could share each other's life and time like a large circle of pizza. But not willing to rush things, he decides to take things slow so that he may study her and understand if she is truly the one he would want to spend the rest of his life with. He spends 6 months trying to understand how Stella works all round, and afterwards he pops the question almost immediately after the 6 months, as though he had been forced to undergo the 6-month study, but only really wanted to get married to her as soon as possible, believing that if he wastes any more time, someone else would come with her to the altar before him. He does not want that, as he sees her in his own words. She is my moon, lightening up my darkest night. I would be a messed up buffoon if I let someone else swoop her away from my sight. Getting himself prepared, he gets a ring, a gown, and a three-piece suit, getting Stella to a fancy candlelit restaurant. He's a bit nervous about the whole proposal, asking himself questions like, what if she doesn't agree? What if she does not like me that much? What if something happens? He goes on questioning himself silently as he watches her smile. So charmingly. Stella catches him in a stare and pauses, demanding to know why he's staring. Am I missing something? Nothing much, except the beauty that is blinding my eyes right now. And he says with a passion that causes him to freeze. Oh, thank you so much, Stella says. I must say I'm flattered. Stella, Andy begins again, staring right into her eyes. I've known you for years now, and I'm certain of one thing. What might that be? Stella asks with a smile. I love you, and he quickly goes down on his knees, bringing out a miniature glass box containing a golden ring. You're the one. You're the one I want to spend the rest of my life with. So please, Stella, would you marry me? He kneels patiently, waiting for a response, and Stella suddenly delays in responding, as if hoping that he would get up before 1 minute. Then with an outburst, she yells with a smile, grabbing his left palm. Yes, I would marry you. Jumping to his feet joyfully, he grabs Stella in his arms in a tight hug, taking a 180-degree turn before carefully placing her feet on the ground and giving her a kiss on the forehead. As expected, she smiles and places same on his cheek. But later on, all of this would capsize. A few weeks later, they get married. Everyone believes they are made for each other, judging from how beautifully they look together on the altar and how passionately they perform the "you may now kiss" scene. and they would not believe that he would experience what he will experience later. He would eventually wish they never met in the first instance. She would turn out to be nothing but a mini demon tormenting his very existence. 1 month into the marriage, things are still looking up in the marriage, with 1 or 2 disagreements here and there, which he makes himself believe to be normal, positing that there are 2 different people sharing a new environment together. Hence, we're only scraping up the rough edges in order to adjust to the new environment, and before long, they would achieve happily ever after. What he soon notices after about 4 months of trying to scrape off the rough edges is the fact that Stella is not who he imagined she is, and does not like him as much as he imagined she did. Coming out of the kitchen on a Sunday afternoon with tears in her eyes, hiding a knife behind her, as she, with a smile, comes to sit beside Andy. Seeing her as she comes over, Andy smiles. "Hey love, come take a sit." "Don't call me that," she says as tears rolled down her eyes. "What's going on?" Andy asks, confused, and attempts to go over to where she is standing. "Don't you come near me," Stella screams, brandishing a sharp knife. She wields like a warrior, ready to kill. Honey, what's wrong? She pushes him to the sofa, and drawing closer to him as if to kiss him, she gives him a cut on the face, close to his nose. "That's for this nonsense you've done to me." Confused that she would say something like that, he makes to question her sanity, but she takes the knife close to his face again, shutting him up. She raises the knife again, as if to stab him, but stabs the backrest of the sofa there on before speaking. "I never told you I wanted to be married," she begins. "But you accepted my ring," he replies. "Because I did not want to hurt your feelings." "What?" Andy asks, dumbfounded. "You heard me. I never loved you. We were supposed to be just friends, but you forced yourself on me." "Okay, fine. You don't want this anymore. Just leave. But please put the knife away." "Oh, this?" She raises the knife to her face, as if to have a long kiss with it. "Definitely, I will put it away. I just wanted to make sure you wouldn't try to stop me from leaving. Anyways, take care of yourself. And I'm sorry." Rushing to the room, she sits on the bed, rethinking the whole thing, wondering if she should renege on leaving Andy after many years of being together, first as friends, then as a couple. It's been so long. How do I leave him just like that? Thinking a little while more, she makes up her mind to leave despite how hard she finds it to do. Walking out of the room into the sitting room, where Andy is still seated in shock, she walks up to him, squatting before him and saying, "I'm sorry, this can't work. It shouldn't have been in the first place." Andy, both terrified and dumbfounded, freezes as she speaks. Rising up before him, seeing that he is probably finally on board with the decision she has made, Stella walks away to the door to take her leave, but halting right in front of the door, as though she had forgot part of her luggage, she turns again towards Andy, and uttering another sorry behind her breath, she pulls out a gun from her bag, shoots him dead with a bullet to the back of his head before calling the police to report that someone had just been shot.